Hi, and welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a full look at Transformers Generations Legacy United Armada Universe Tidal Wave. This is our 2024 Titan class figure, and I am super excited. I did not grow up with Armada. I was like in my teens when it came out. I wasn't really paying attention to Transformers at the time, but I saw some clips and I saw this massive spaceship slowly approaching Earth, and then I saw Tidal Wave's awesome robot form, and I really did enjoy that design. While I thought the original toy didn't super live up to that design intent, I do think this version does a great job. So in front of us, we have the Dark Fleet, I believe it's called, the Dark Armada Dark Fleet. We've got 3 ships. We've got scale is a mess here. We've got the smallest of the 3 is an aircraft carrier, which is actually like a pretty nice little detailed aircraft carrier. It's like oddly square, but you know, it's got your takeoff area with 2 takeoff platforms. Although the fact that these like dip down instead of up is very, very funny for me, because you want the plane to you want to be helping the plane go up. You have a short landing area. I am a little bummed that we don't get the paint going all the way across here, but we have some nice, greebly details painted, some lights painted. We've got an unpainted dark purple platform that helps set the scale of things. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. We're not really doing much in this mode. He's got some guns. You can put blast effects in here. I think, that's the intended purpose. Obviously, aircraft carriers don't have front-facing cannons like that, but it's still just a cool bit of robot detail. It does roll really well. It's got 4 nice big casters. I do want to shout out the engineers here. I always feel like the casters on Transformers are too small, but these are nice, and like the radius is big and the width is big. It rolls really, really nice. I just think it's very, very cute. Since this is an Armada figure, we can see it next to a Minicon, so here's how things look there. Obviously, even at this scale, this is a little silly in terms of the size of the helicopter, but you can at least land on it, even if this can't interact with these 5mm pegs. That seems to be more there for blast effects. You could kind of play Battleship with this thing, 3 hits, and your battleship has unfortunately been sunk. I think it's cute, it's big and chunky and hefty, and that is something that I'm really going to reiterate a couple times on these figures. This figure, these toys, it just feels good in hand, and it's always satisfying when they feel that nice. Next, we've got the most alien of the 3. This is a weird, double pontoon battleship. It's got the pontoon thing in the front. It looks like these are where, people could sit, but there's also the command bridge up here. We've got some nice yellow, silver, and pink painted details here. A nice big Decepticon symbol, orange here, and we've got lots of rotating guns. My favorite gun so far. I feel like the guns on the Titan class figures have gotten better and better each time, and I really appreciate that. These spin, they also traverse vertically. I really like that. And of course, you can absolutely stick effects on them. We can have all sorts of lasers. And this, the footprint is massive when you're in this fleet mode. But the idea of just having these guys... And I also want to state that I really like that the inside is not painted. It's just the outside of the barrels. So this gummy plastic is not going to interfere that much with them. But you can have them like this. And I think that just looks hilarious and really cool. And I could see myself, displaying these almost like they're anti-aircraft guns. It looks awesome. It's the sort of thing that makes my inner child really, really happy. Aside from those 4 big guns, we also can swivel these little ones. So those can go in different spots. Other than that, there's not really much articulation here. Again, we've got nice big casters. Oh, that just sounds good. It sounds, again, it's very chunky and hefty and satisfying. It feels really good. Last, and what should kind of be least, but is actually the biggest of the 3, this one, it's like I think it's supposed to be some sort of amphibious assault vehicle. There is a place for someone to sit up here. Again, we've got 5mm ports up here. We've got some more orange paint, a lot more pink, silver, gunmetal gray, lots of colors to break up the plastic here. But then like these ramps here, the idea, the closest vehicle I can think of to this is you'd open these ramps, well, you'd open the whole thing up, and then tanks and other aquatic hybrid vehicles could come out that way. That's what I think, like amphibious assault vehicles, that's what I think it's for, and it's weird that it's the biggest, but I recognize this is like how he's proportioned. So it's just what we're gonna get. We have all sorts of engines in the back, very sci-fi, really cool details, and one more time, nice big, casters. Put this on the tanks, Hasbro. Oh, big complaint. This is not held together very well. You notice I tapped it. These slots and these tabs do not hold together very well. I checked like 3 or 4 times to make sure I wasn't missing another connection here. It just doesn't hold it in that well. It needs like one more locking point, or maybe a point that kind of you could lift up a piece and latch it over the underside or something. Or I guess it would have to come up on the front end to stay out of the way of the casters. But that is a little disappointing, but it's minor. These are really goofy looking. The Dark Fleet is really silly, but man, does it look kind of cool and make me happy. I thought about what I'd compare this to. I think in this mode, it's very much its own thing. These are each liter-sized, easy. Let me bring out, for context, here is Commander class Ultra Magnus, and they're essentially 3 commanders in terms of mass. Now, each one is not as individually articulated and as complex as him, but we are talking about some good plastic bang for our buck here. He does have a combining mode, which we'll do next. We're going to take this piece, lift things up so that we can split them on either side, flip his head around because it is going to connect to this slot back here on the aircraft carrier. And then there are tabs on either side here that will pinch things into place. And the reason we lifted this up is because there were tabs here that we want to come back down and secure, like so. Then this piece, conveniently, we can split it. That was like basically just friction connected. And there are slots here and tabs here that will connect. We do want to flip out this section on both sides, like so, letting us take this, connect that piece, and then coming in to get a very secure connection right there. I do like that a lot. Same thing on the other side. So what we have is a peg that is in a port here. We've got 2 tabs on this side, 1 tab forward. So with the different directions that the tabs go in, it feels very secure. We have this crazy spaceship mode here that I can barely get on camera, but it looks awesome once again. I could even like maybe flip this down. I don't know if that's supposed to be up or down. The instructions show it as up. We haven't unlocked any new like functionality or anything here, but we do have just a really cool, really crazy looking space cruiser. I just dig it a lot. I mean, it is, really, really neat to see. If we are comparing giant Titan class spaceship modes, I do have 2 other toys that I'm going to attempt to do on the same, on this angle. I might have to adjust the camera. First, we've got Tripticon. Nope, that immediately came apart, huh? There we go. Brought the camera back so we can show them. And I think this does illustrate something as good as Tidal Wave feels. I mean, there's a dramatic difference here in terms of volume of plastic. Mass-wise, they're not that far off, but I mean, Tripticon does weigh more. We're seeing the shrinkflation that, has been hitting everything. Of course, would obviously hit the Titan class figures, but I do like how they look together. I'm going to put this down and grab one more. All right, this is my attempt to fit all three Decepticon, there we go, all three Decepticon Spaceship Titan class figures together. So we could just see how this fleet looks. And I will say, even though Tidal Wave is the smallest, they look great together. I love the consistent color scheme between them with the purple and the gray. You know, they each have something different. Tidal Wave has a lot more gray going on. We have Nemesis, you know, with those vibrant, brighter purples, and then Trypticon with the teal. I think they look great together, and I'm very tempted to display them in alt mode like this as like the massive dark Decepticon fleet. All right, let's try and get Tidal Wave all transformed. It's actually a pretty simple transformation. The Titan class figures generally are. We're going to come in and we're going to separate this piece because that comes off pretty easily. We're going to pull out and separate these pieces. And this one. And we've got kind of our 4 major Tidal Wave chunks again. Actually 5. We want to split this one apart like so. Let's move the torso and arms back, and we'll start with the legs so I can see how much I need to adjust my camera every time. The legs are pretty simple. We're gonna lift here, fold, lift up the toes, lift up the heel, and then we can open up this section. We got, oh, what is a lovely sounding joint there to pull out that knee. Same thing on this side. Oh, flip that up. Same thing over here. Flip, flip. Like so. And we can see immediately need to lift him up, lift the camera up significantly. Last thing real quick, we're just gonna fold those in like so to keep things nice and tight. We've got our torso. We're gonna flip it because this section, which we're gonna open up, is where his head is. And these sections are gonna come down. Oh, actually before we do that, we wanna lift this whole joint. We're gonna flip it around to give his torso the correct proportions. And while we're in here, we're going to open up these really large joints on either side. Then we can close up here, and you can see there is a tab right here. Closing that up. Same thing on that side. And bringing back down his torso like so. We have good locks right here and right there. Camera up just a little bit more. Take our arm. We can bend it here. We're going to flip in this aircraft carrier landing piece, rotate things so that, there we go. Our elbow is facing the right direction. And then we have, what we have it here is a hand. We can open up this section, flip this around to get the rest of the fingers out and attach it right here. Same thing on this side. We're gonna close up that piece, open, flip that out, close it. And then we can take this joint and rotate to bend things. So Tidal Wave in robot mode, just starting out, looks pretty freaking awesome. I do want to get the size comparisons out of the way, I think. If we're talking Armada, let's talk Megatron and Optimus. You know, Optimus in his super mode. So Tidal Wave is nice and big. I think this works in the memory I have of the show. I think that works really, really nice. Now, if we're talking comparing him to other Titan class figures, we have him next to Nemesis and Trypticon. Let me move this out of the way so we can see the 3 of them together. So we can see again, I mean, Tidal Wave is smaller than the others, less tall than Nemesis, less like massive than Trypticon, but they still, the 3 Decepticon Titans do look good together. Now on to articulation. He's decently articulated, although there are a couple things I wish that we still had. Due to the fact that he's got really no neck, this is just a swivel. I do think that maybe this platform could have tilted to give him some downward tilt. I feel like Tidal Wave looking down into his own chest, down at like the puny Autobots below him, would have been a cool thing to be able to do. His arms are pretty well articulated. 360 there. He can go out, up, you know, that far before it runs into his own other shoulder piece. His chest and shoulder run together. We do have swivel at the elbow. We do have, you know, pretty deep elbow bend for a single joint. Can go out all the way, obviously. We do have kind of a wrist swivel. Now, his wrist can't really hold anything, but you can kind of clamp the fingers together like so to mimic holding things or to put something in there. We do have nice, you know, he can, if he get his own arm out of the way, he can do a full splits. He can kick up and his skirt gets out of the way, so he can kick up so far. He can kick back and his butt skirt gets even further out of the way, so he can kick back way further. He does have a knee joint right there. He does have swivel here, and he does have some ankle tilt. These Titan articulation, like filming sections, like they make me sweat. But yeah, there's good articulation here. And obviously the same articulation that was on his cannons before, he can use here, so you can get the cannons kind of pointed forward and down at whatever he wants to blow away. I mean, he just looks really good. The colors are really, really nice. I'd be curious to see if we get an Energon repaint. Titan class figures, I feel like, are so expensive to make due to the size of the molding needed, right? They need these big steel tooling pieces to mold this much plastic. It makes sense that we'll eventually get an Energon repaint just to reuse those molds one more time. And yeah, I think he looks pretty dang fantastic. The only other two things that he can do, let's get to next. Let's start out with pulling out Megatron. When Tidal Wave first got announced and leaked as a Titan class figure, everyone was talking about, okay, how do they take this toy and they turn it into something that can combine with leader class Megatron, with just, you know, the size discrepancy here. And they were pretty clever. They've hidden all the pieces to combine with Megatron on this Tidal Wave, so they integrate nicely, but there are essentially smaller scale versions of them. We're gonna start out by pulling out mini versions of his little like aircraft carrier pieces. Same thing on this side. Like so. So we've got those two pieces, and they can kind of form like a small version of the aircraft carrier here. We can take Tidal Wave, turn him around. Where we had this little section that we stuck these guns onto, we can pull out basically 85% of a mini Tidal Wave torso. I mean, that's almost everything you need to just make like a leader Tidal Wave. And the last thing is going to be on these sections. We can pull out and here. If we wanted to make like a mini Dark Fleet, we basically could, right? Here's this section, here is this section, and then the ship. So we have like, you know, 90% of what we need to make these sections. And these are the pieces that are going to combine with Megatron. Like we have with these sections, there are little tabs that are going to come in, and they're going to hook in place on either side here and here. And these cannons do articulate. These cannons are just molded in, painted in place. We've got these already attached to each other, but I think what I forgot to do, we're going to come in and we're going to flip this section back around on both sides to get this section together. Then we can collapse out this back end. The order that you want to bend these kind of matters. So you want to do this first joint and then the second joint. But there we've got kind of our mini aircraft carrier piece. And so there is truly like the mini Dark Fleet. To upgrade Megatron, we do need one more piece. We can open up here, and we're going to pull out from the inside panel. 1, 2. There we go. And then these are essentially, I mean, we can see they are little platform shoes to make Megatron's feet just a little bit taller. Those can peg right in. And then we basically just take these pieces and we're going to attach them at different spots. This first thing we're going to do is rotate his gun so that it goes around the front side. So he's got his big old belly blaster. Get that in the right spot. Then we have these two ports back here, which will coincide when we take this apart and we flip these sections out, or no, these sections and this section. Same thing on this side, this tab, or that peg in this section. So these allow these pieces to connect together and space things properly for this to attach, which we have these two ports back here. We'll just connect like so. We can take this section. It's got a little 5mm peg, goes right here. And then this section has a 5mm peg right there. That'll go up here. And we've got kind of Megatron wearing the Tidal Wave upgrade set. Again, I mean, to me, this seems really goofy. I like Tidal Wave much more as a big menacing robot than just an upgrade kit for Megatron. But I understand that this was a thing the show did. And we can show him next to Optimus Prime. Doesn't really make the stature match, but I do understand that lore-wise this was like a pretty important part of the show where Tidal Wave came to beat up Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime got a super form, and then Megatron basically rips Tidal Wave apart and gets the upgrades that way. So I do think it looks very, very cool in that regard. And with that, we've just got one final thing to look at for Tidal Wave, so let's go ahead and announce the winner of last week's giveaway. All right, it's time to announce the winner of the Transformers Generations Legacy United Doom and Destruction 2-pack with Prime Breakdown and Windsweeper. We have over here on the left all of the comments on the video. If you wanted to enter the giveaway and you answered the question of the day, then you got a little heart. That is what helps me keep track of everyone who entered. I appreciated all the ideas and comments. I think some people... Oh, did I miss one? Ugly Wretch. Did I grab you? See, this is why we double check and we triple check. Perfect. All right, Ugly Wretch, gotcha. Yes. So, hey, you're seeing this live. This is how I handle these. Maybe there's a better system for me to do this. But yeah, if you just left a comment, then you didn't get a heart, but you got a thumbs up, because I always appreciate them. I did like a lot of the creativity people were giving in their answers. We had 29 entries, so let's see, ran between 1 and 29. Our winner is number 15. 15 is Logan Anderson. Congratulations, Logan. Let's see if we can find you and see what... I'd like to... Thunder Blast as a remold of Chromie and Octopunch as a remold of Studio Series Scourge Sweep. Oh, that would be pretty cool. I dig it. Yeah, wing parts to look like octopus arms would be awesome. Congratulations, Logan. Reach out to us on any of our social media, and once we get your information, confirm you're the winner, we'll get the 2-pack packaged up and sent out to you as soon as possible. Let's get back to the review. Let's start by taking all the bits off Megatron, and he can go back out of camera. And this piece, all these pieces we're going to stick to the side because they actually do have a part to play here. We're going to take Tidal Wave and we're going to lay his ass down. We can refocus our camera. We're going to come in and we're going to close up his toes, opening up these sections and kind of lining them up, closing them so they make one solid ramp piece. Like so. Then we can come in, we're going to flip his head over, we're going to open up this section, rotate it, and then this can close, and there is a teeny tiny little peg there that's going to go in the back of his head, right in the cabeza. If I can get that angle right. Oh, I did get it. I got it on camera. I just didn't, I wish that had a more satisfying click. So that gives this kind of a little platform area. Next, we can come in on the arms. They're both going to come down. And we're going to flip these sections around. Get his legs out of the way. There is a bend that we don't use that joint for basically anything except for this, what we're going to call like our base slash city mode. Similar to Fort Max, we're going to bring these arm sections up on both of these, like so. Oh, no, this came untabbed. I will say this is, I mean, absolutely the weakest mode out of all of them. I struggle to see the value. If you bought this because you're excited to get like another city bot, that's a mistake. Don't buy this for that. These pieces can come in. We can unplug them, and they can come in and peg. Like so. Same thing on this side. Cool, close enough. We're going to come in and we're going to undo these pieces. And there's a little peg right here. That's actually going to go underneath right there for some reason. This piece here is going to come up here. Like so. This section, we're going to fold it back. It can sit right over there. And then we can take the guns and we can stick them up here. And it's essentially like they're mimicking Fort Max's kind of base mode for some reason. But I'm going to stop right here because, like, look at this. There's no value here. What's the play pattern? You can drive up this ramp, and then what? The ramps don't even, like, if you look, they don't even, there's a gap between that and the ground. The other city modes, like, they connected together. They had little battle stations that popped up. They could do things. This is just, I don't even know what this is. Extra parts justification. It justifies adding those thigh joints there that didn't need to be there. I wonder if instead of doing this, if they just made it so that we could get 2 tidal waves and one of them would be liter sized for Megatron. It feels like a waste of resources. It's not adding anything. It's not, you know, like you can have characters stand. There's not like ports or pegs for them to plug into. Like comparing this to the Triptychon city mode is a joke. This is not the reason to buy it though. Like you buy Tidal Wave for the Dark Fleet, for the robot mode. That is awesome. That is super cool. I think that he's worth the $100 and I paid $120. He's worth $120 easy. If you're getting him for because you like Armada, because it's a really imposing robot mode, because it's a cool big Decepticon that turns into a fleet of ships, that is all great. But this, I mean, we're unfortunately ending on kind of a downer note. But it's like, this isn't even bad. It's just nothing. This is a fan mode. This is just nothing. So I don't even want to spend any more time on it. But my point is, Tidal Wave is awesome. He's absolutely worth the $120. Just, you know, we are not going to care about that. But what we are going to care about is the fact that I have 2 of them. This right here, you can... There's another Tidal Wave in this one. I pre-ordered this at Big Bad Toy Store, at Amazon, and at Hasbro Pulse, hoping to get mine as fast as possible. And I think Hasbro Pulse and Amazon, or Hasbro Pulse and Big Bad Toy Store came out at about the same time. So I ended up getting 2 of them. I canceled my Amazon one, so I only have the 2. But that means that this needs to go to a good home. I do not need 2 Tidal Waves. Let's turn this box around and just take a look at the back end real quick. Yeah, that's stupid as hell. That's dumb. This is, you know, but the toy is awesome, and this needs to go to a good home. I am not going to do a giveaway just for this, but what I am going to do is add this to the prize pool for our Extra Life fundraiser. If you're not familiar, every year we like to raise money for causes we believe in, charities we believe in. The biggest one that we've been doing it for has been Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We're the Arbitrary Hero. We're a group of Cincinnati locals. We believe in their mission. We want to support it. So every year I do a big Transformers raffle with all sorts of awesome prizes. You can go to the Extra Life page, check it out for yourself. And if you donate, you get entered to win this or some other awesome Transformers prizes. There's a bunch already. Go check it out. We'll be fundraising through like the end of October, beginning of November, where we do our big 24-hour live stream. It's going to be a ton of fun, and during that time we'll announce our winners. So go. I would love for you to donate. You help out some sick kids, and you get a chance to win some Transformers prizes. That is it for today's video. Thanks everybody for watching. Tidal Wave, highly recommend. If you don't have the money to get your own, then go check out the fundraiser and enter for a chance to win. Bye!